ancient artifacts or modern hoax. Today we are diving into the legend of the crystal skulls. Are they real or just a masterfully crafted myth? Let's uncover the mystery. Crystal skulls have fascinated experts and the general public for over 120 years, and yet we still have no idea who created them. I think most people have heard about these at some point. There are many theories about origin of the skulls. Some say they are remnants of the mythical Atlantis. Others say they came from Mars. Crystal skulls have been a popular subject appearing in numerous sci-fi series, novels, and video games. Probably the most famous movie in which skulls were used is Indiana Jones and Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. According to the legends, there are supposed to be 13 skulls in the world. Only 12 have been found so far, but if these 13 crystal skulls were brought together, something magical or powerful would happen. The effect would differ depending on who is telling you the story. Some will say it can control nature, while others claim it will unlock stored information within the skulls. Eugene Boban was a French antiquarian who effectively invented the category of Aztec crystal skulls in the late 19th century. He fabricated origin. He sold the skulls to the museum by claiming they were authentic pre-Columbian artifacts, despite no such object ever being found in actual archaeological digs. Boban built a reputation as an authority on Mexican culture, even serving as an unofficial archaeologist for the court of Maximilian I. This status allowed him to palm off fakes to major institutions like the British Museum and the Museum in Paris. In 1885, he tried to sell a skull to the National Museum of Mexico, but the director rejected it and announced him as a fraud. Research suggests Boban likely acquired the skulls from gemstone cutting centers in Germany, where craftsmen use modern equipment to carve quartz imported from Brazil. So what is this Mitchell-Hedges skull, sometimes nicknamed the Skull of Doom, and where did it come from? It's the most famous of all crystal skulls due to its realistic design and detachable jaw. Frederick Albert Mitchell-Hedges, a British adventurer, claimed his daughter Anna found it in 1924 beneath the collapsed altar in the Mayan ruins of Lubantun, Belize. He told tales of high priests using the skull to will death upon their enemies and claimed it was at least 3,600 years old. The reality is that there is an auction record documents from the British Museum prove Mitchell-Hedges actually bought the skull at Sotheby auction in London in 1943 for £400. Most of the stories we hear today are told by the daughter Anna. She is definitely the one who made the skull famous and brought it to a large audience. First of all, Anna Mitchell-Hedges never let the skull to be scientifically tested during her lifetime. Mayan archaeologist Norman Hammond, who had an opportunity to examine it, also reported that some holes seemed to have been made by metallic drills. But this was the extent of the examination during Anna's lifetime. When she died in 2007, the skull went to her husband Bill Holman, who for the first time let the skull to be examined with modern equipment. Holman took the skull to the office of anthropologist Jane McLaren Walsh in the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History for examination. Walsh carried out a detailed examination of the skull using UV light, high-powered light microscope, and computerized tomography. Holman took the skull to the museum again in 2008 so it could be filmed for the Smithsonian Network's documentary called Legend of the Crystal Skull. And on this occasion, Walsh was able to take two sets of silicon molds of surface tool marks for scanning electron microscope analysis. The SEM micrographs revealed evidence that the crystal had been worked with high-speed hard metal rotary tool coated with a hard abrasive such as diamond. Walsh's extensive research on artifacts from Mexico and Central America showed that pre-contact artisans carved stone by abrading the surface with stone or wooden tools, and in later pre-Columbian time, copper tools in combination with a variety of abrasive sands or pulverized stone. This examination led Walsh to the conclusion that skull was probably carved in the 1930s. Some individuals believe in the paranormal claim that crystal skulls can produce a variety of miracles. Anna Mitchell-Hedges claimed that the skull she allegedly discovered could cause the visions and cure cancer. The British Museum skull, acquired in 1897 from a Tiffany and Company dealer, it was originally claimed to be Aztec. The Paris skull, part of a collection donated by Eugene Bourbon, a French adventurer who is now believed to have commissioned many of these fakes, and the Smithsonian skull, mailed namelessly to the museum in 1992 with a note claiming it is an Aztec artifact. While the legend claims there are 13 skulls and museum holds 4 or 5 major specimens, scientific analysis suggests they were all produced in Europe or Mexico between the mid-19th and 20th centuries to satisfy the high market demand for exotic antiquities. The mystery of crystal skull is largely a modern hoax, while legend claims they were ancient Mayan or Aztec artifacts with supernatural power. Scientific analysis by the British Museum in the Smithsonian has debunked these origins. Microscopic examination revealed marks from 19th century. Rotary tools, high-speed jewelry wheels were unavailable to ancient Mesoamericans. Most of the skulls were likely crafted in Germany in the late 1800s using quartz from Brazil or Madagascar. The skull of doom, the famous Mitchell-Hedges skull, once claimed to be found in a Maya temple, was actually purchased at Sotheby auction in 1943. No archaeological records, not a single crystal skull has ever been found at a documented professional archaeological excavation. But what is interesting about this story is that the Mitchell-Hedges family claimed they found the skull in 1924, but the skull was purchased almost 20 years later in 1943. But the legendary crystal skulls remain a mystery. Their origins are fraudulent, but we don't know who crafted them. Guys, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment with your biggest takeaway. Don't forget to subscribe for weekly updates, and I will catch you next time. Ciao, ciao.